Hi, this is Lisa Harris with My Creative Pursuits. I'm here today to share a quick project, faux flair with a distressed look. For this project, you'll need cardstock, distress inks. I'm using broken china, peeled paint, worn lipstick, spiced marmalade, and wild honey. You'll also need clear packing tape, some sort of background stamps, a heat drying tool, Crackle accents, and a spritzer with water. And finally, you'll need a circle punch or some sort of die cutting machine to cut the circles. So let's get started. First, I did a wrinkle-free distress technique. If you're not familiar with this technique, you dab your ink pads directly onto your craft mat, applying a layer of color. Next, spritz water into the ink until it begins to form beads. In this example, I used 3 colors: spiced marmalade, wild honey, and worn lipstick. When you use multiple colors, be sure not to drag your ink pads across areas where you've already laid down color so you won't contaminate your colors. Next, press the paper into the ink and water a couple of times until you've gotten the coverage you want. Then dry the paper with the heat drying tool. For my project, next I inked my background stamp with the peeled paint and broken china distress inks. I wanted a watercolor effect to this image, so I misted the stamp with water before stamping it onto the paper. And here's the result of that stamping. I repeated the same process with this background using worn lipstick and a few water spritzes. Then a wood grain with spiced marmalade. For that background, I didn't spritz the stamp with water, but applied the ink directly instead. And finally, I stamped this script background with broken china and water. Next, I covered the entire piece with packing tape. I knew that I'd be working with a wet medium to try and create the dome effect of flair, so I needed a barrier between the distress inks and the Crackle accents. Distress inks are highly reactive to water, and the result would have been images that bleed had I not put that barrier there. Next, I cut my circles 1 1/4 inches using my Cricut. Then applied a very heavy coating of the Crackle accents to each circle. I left the Crackle medium to dry overnight, and this is the result. To be honest, this doesn't resemble actual pieces of flair as much as I'd like. But when I think about it, many of the faux flair projects I've seen don't either. Only flair looks like flair. Still, I like the look of these little embellishments, and I'll surely find a use for them on some pages and cards coming up soon. So that's it for this DIY Friday. I'd love to see your take on it or hear about any tips you might have to help me achieve a more flair-like outcome. Till next time, bye!